We just spent 7 days exploring the city of Pokhara and countless hours playing the trip. We're now providing you with all the essential information you'll need to visit this Nepalese city, including how do you get there? Do you need a visa? The history, cash or credit card,
the food,
what's the currency, where should you stay, whatever this is. I mean, really, if I keep going with this list, the entire video is just going to be a list. I'm not saying we know everything after a week in Pokhara, but compared to influencers who spend a day in town, we're the town's historian.
Boom. Roasted.
This is the Pokhara City Guide. Let's go. Now let's dive into the essential things you'll want to know about Pokhara. To start off, here's some history. The city formerly was a thriving trade route between India and Tibet. Despite being a major trade hub, Pokhara remained isolated until a highway was built in 1968, connecting it to the other major Nepalese cities. This highway led to the city's transformation into
tourism.
One final factoid for you, just 17.5 miles away, you'll be able to see the Himalayas, with the closest peak stretching almost 23,000 feet high. This makes for a dramatic visual perspective unmatched anywhere else in the world. Now that we've finished our history lesson for the day, let's get the basics. What's the currency? In Nepal, the official currency is the Nepalese rupee, and its price is actually pegged to the Indian rupee. Is there tipping? Basically, there's no tipping culture in Nepal, but you'll find some restaurants have a service charge of about 10% that'll be included with the bill. What's the language? Nepali is the official language and spoken in some form by 91% of the country. But with that said, it's very easy to communicate in English while in Pokhara. Can you drink the water? No, you should not drink the tap water. You can find dissolvable water purification tablets at almost any pharmacy in town, or bring your own water bottle filter. We used both and cut down our plastic water bottle usage to basically zero. What's the power outlet? The electrical outlet used in Nepal is a Type C, or Type D, or the Type M power socket. When's the best time to visit? I've got 4 months for you: April, May, October, November. These are the ideal months to visit. If you visit during the winter, you'll most likely have hazy conditions and it's going to be cold outside. While in the summer, you'll be hit with the rainy season. Are there ATMs? Why, yes, you'll find a bunch of ATMs available on the main tourism street, Lakeside Road. If you're planning on doing a trek into the Annapurna mountain range, make sure you take out some extra cash, since almost all the towns and villages don't have any ATMs. And here's a tip: the Nabil Bank ATMs provides the highest withdrawal limit. Now the always thrilling topic,
visas.
You will need a visa if you're visiting from Europe, North, or South America. Luckily, obtaining one is very straightforward. When you arrive, you can get a visa on arrival, which is good for 15, 30, or 90 days. You'll need to pay in cash, and they do accept other currencies like the US dollar and euro. Cash or credit card? This depends a little on where you're spending. Hotels, tours, and many restaurants will accept credit cards, while taxis, street vendors, and small shops will not. Depending on the establishment, you could get charged an extra 3 to 4% for using a credit card compared to cash. What are the prices like? From accommodations and transportation to food and drinks, the local prices are very cheap. You'll be able to find meals outside the touristy area costing only $2 to $3 US. And even in the
touristy
areas, a meal will only set you back $4 to $8. Even for a 5-star hotel, you should be able to find prices under $100 a night. Can you drink alcohol in public? It is against the law to have an open container of alcohol in public. Having said that, you should be able to drink along Pew Lake's walking path in the late afternoon or at night.
Recommendation.
Is the city safe? Pokhara is a relatively safe city for travelers. There are only 2 safety precautions worth noting here. First one is at night. Once you get off the main Lakeside Road, the amount of street lights is very limited, so it can be a little dark. And then the second is to be mindful where you're
walking.
Many streets will not have a sidewalk, so you'll be forced to walk in the road. Do you need to wear anything special? When visiting religious temples and other sacred places, it is customary to wear something that covers your shoulders and knees. Additionally, a few of the temples we visited required you to remove your shoes before visiting. How are the bathrooms? You'll find Western-style toilets at the majority of hotels in the area, but at public restrooms or local restaurants, it was usually a 50-50 split between the Western-style toilets versus the squatting toilets. Finally, how long should you stay? This completely depends on the purpose of your visit. If you just want to see the highlights, you can probably see everything within 2 days. If you want to enjoy the city's peaceful vibes, scenic views, and adventure activities, you could stay about 4 or 5 days. But if you're planning on trekking into the Himalayas like the Annapurna Circuit Trek, we'd recommend 2 days before and 3 days afterwards for a total of 5 days. And that, my friends, is the essential things you'll need to know before visiting the city of Pokhara.
The must-sees.
This is our required list for anyone looking to visit Pokhara, especially if you only have 1 day to do it. Pua Lake could be considered the crown jewel of Pokhara, offering serene boat rides with breathtaking reflections of the Himalayas. It's surrounded by lush green hills, making it perfect for reflection and connecting to nature. Also, pretty good for photos. The Taubaharai Temple. This is actually located on a small island in the middle of Pua Lake. This is a sacred Hindu site that is only accessible by boat. It offers a very unique experience if you've never been to a Hindu temple, and it's also in the middle of the lake. The next must-see is the World Peace Pagoda. You'll find it on the top of a hill overlooking the entire Pokhara Valley and the Annapurna mountain range. It was built in only 1973 and features 4 different Buddha statues gifted by 4 different countries. Remember, when visiting this location, modest clothing is advisable. The final must-see is walking around Lakeside Road. You'll see everything from cozy cafes, boutique shops, to souvenir shops, and local cuisine. Even cows. The variety in shops here are truly amazing considering the road caters to tourists. If you're flying in from another country besides China, you'll first need to fly into the capital city, Kathmandu. From there, the quickest option and most convenient to reach Pokhara is never leaving the airport. Well, technically you have to walk from the international building to the domestic building. But once you're airborne, it only takes 30 minutes to get into town. Here's a tip. On your flight, you'll have truly unmatched views of the Himalayas, so make sure you grab a seat on the right side of the airplane. This is how we arrived into Pokhara. The other option would be taking a local bus or a tour bus, which is a long and bumpy 6 to 8 hour journey. But if you're living the high life and you can hire a private car, the time to Pokhara will only be still 6 to 8 hours. Now that we've arrived, how are we going to get around? The easy answer here is to take a taxi. Prices to get around are some of the lowest we've experienced, with only costing $2 to $3 US for short rides around town. Here's a tip. When taking a taxi, you'll want to agree on the price with the driver before getting into the taxi, and you can haggle on the price if it seems unreasonable. Another option is
Ride shares.
Nope, that doesn't exist here. Another option is
Buses.
Nope. They are usually used to connect nearby villages and towns, so it's not great for inner city travel. Another option is
Walking.
Getting around by walking is our preferred mode of transportation and how we basically got everywhere in the city except the Pokhara airport. The lakeside neighborhood is not hilly, so walking around is our
recommendation.
Our final option for getting around is renting a scooter or a motorcycle. There are many different places to rent bikes in Lakeside, but in Nepal, it is required to have an international driving permit to rent one, which in the US can be bought at a AAA.
I'm so hungry.
Pokhara has a variety of food options from local to international. We'll touch on the 3 must-tries that you cannot pass up. A side note, if you ever see the word chili on the menu, it means it's going to be a little spicy. Of course, the first must-try here is dal bhat. It's the national dish of Nepal and a staple food to consume almost daily by the Nepalese people. It basically consists of 5 different items organized on a plate. You'll have steamed rice, vegetable curry, pickled vegetables, spinach or kale, and to round it out, a lentil cracker. We had this almost daily while on the Annapurna Circuit Trek, and most places that offer it have
unlimited refills.
The next food to try is moms. Wait, nope, that's a typo. Momos. This is another beloved food, which is a dumpling filled with meat or vegetables. You'll usually get between 8 and 10 momos on a plate, and they can be served steamed or fried. We would often get a plate of these to share as an appetizer before our main course. And finally, we have our instant noodles in a bag snack called Wei Wei Chapati. You'll find locals selling these all along the lakefront path. It consists of an instant noodle bag that's been crushed up, then mixed together with a bunch of different ingredients, and then put back into the instant noodle bag. It makes for a perfect snack on the go. Just be careful and don't ask for it too spicy like I did. While the city of Pokhara spans just over 170 square miles, you'll only need to look at 2 locations for where to stay. The lakeside neighborhood is at the heart of the tourism scene and where you should start looking for accommodations. The main road in Lakeside is called Lakeside Road. Here you'll find the majority of shops, stores, tours, and restaurants. It stretches for about 1.5 miles, with this section in particular being the most popular. Because of this, it gets a little bit noisy at night, so having your accommodations a block or 2 further inland or locating further north or south would make the most sense. We followed this advice while staying at 2 different locations and had no issues. If you're making another trip back to Pokhara or just want to get away from it all and relax with amazing views, you should look for hotels near Sarang Kot.
Namaste.
The official language spoken in Nepal is Nepali, although, due to Pokhara being a major tourist destination, and more specifically, the lakeside neighborhood, English is commonly spoken and understood. Basically, everywhere we went, we were able to communicate in English. Restaurants had English menus, signs were often in English, making it very easy to navigate Pokhara. It should be noted that learning a handful of words or phrases is a great way to immerse yourself into the culture and connect more with the locals. We usually learn around 10 different ones before traveling. There are a host of different day trips you can take in and outside of Pokhara, but the majority of them don't require a full day, and some of these so-called day trips only takes 30 minutes to fully explore. Because of this, we're going to wrap the day trips into the attraction section, making it
Daytractions.
That doesn't make sense.
Here's a bunch of the attractions that are available in Pokhara that might perk your interest. All of these will be located outside of the lakeside neighborhood, so taking a taxi, renting a bike, or a motorcycle will be advisable unless you enjoy
Walking.
The Bindayabasimi Temple is one of Pokhara's oldest temples and has amazing views of the Annapurna mountain range. The International Mountain Museum. This is dedicated to everything mountaineering in the Himalayas. We visited this one and found it much more informative than we were expecting.
Adventure activities.
Which includes paragliding, ziplining, whitewater rafting, and mountain biking, are all available in the region and a great way to spend time outdoors. Watch the sunrise over the Himalayas at Sarang Kot. This almost made our must-see list, but since it could be cloudy or hazy when the sun rises, it could be a big swing and a miss. The Dampas Village Day Hike. This is a short hike that provides picturesque terraced fields and amazing views of the Annapurna mountain range. If you're not trekking at all in the Annapurnas, you should definitely consider doing this activity. And finally, we have Davis Fall and Guptashwar Mahadev Cave. These 2 are right across the street from each other and worth a quick visit if you have the time. And that's a wrap on the Pokhara City Guide. Now go ahead and leave a comment on how you hated all the funny videos.